Good morning. This is Daily Hebrew Declarations with Daniel Jedediah Cook, and I'm reading the declaration for today, May the 4th, 2021. The three Hebrew letters we're honoring today are Pei, Dalet, and Shin. Along with those three living letters, we're also honoring the spirit of counsel, the spirit of the Lord, and the spirit of might. We also want to honor Pastor Parker Thomaston here at the Gates of Zion. The declaration today reads this: as we recognize our words are weighty and have substance, we are able to enter the portal to other realms of Yahweh, creating peace in our location, where we are, and throughout the path of our lives. You know, we realize that when I look at the living letter Pei, I not only see a cough. You see, the living letter Pei is made up of two different Hebrew letters. I see a cough and I see a yod. You see, if you look at the living letter Pei, you've got the cough, which is the outer part of the letter itself. Now, to me, every time I see the living letter cough, I always think about the place of Gideon. When Yahweh first led me into understanding this was where he took me. And I thought about the place where he took the men down to the watering area, to the lake, river, stream. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but the watering hole. And he says, I want you to choose the ones that pick up the water with their hands. Now, I've heard the reasons behind that many a different ways, and Yahweh just gave me another way of looking at it. Because when the men picked up their hands, they created a palm. You see, Kaf means the palm of the hands, and it also means to behold. So, when I see that, and they place the water in their hands, they're picking up the water of Yahweh's word. And the palm of the hand means to behold the word of Yahweh. And as they looked down into the water, the first thing that they saw was their own reflection being reflected back at them. Now, that surface reflection was the reflection of what they looked like at that moment, yes. But this water was different, at least the way that Yahweh showed me. This water was different because as they looked into the water of his word, they looked into the water of what Yahweh was showing them, they began to see a different reflection on the other side of that water. In other words, their reflection was being filtered through, and they saw the palm of Yahweh's hand, and they saw the fact that they were engraved on the palms of Yahweh's hand. And so they began to realize, wait, I look like my father. I look like my father. That's who I'm becoming. That's who I am. And those were the men that Gideon chose, and that Yahweh told Gideon to choose to go and to delete the Midianites. So you see, as we recognize those words, the words of Yahweh, then if Yahweh has made us to be just like him, then, and his words are weighty, then are our words not also weighty? Of course they are. Our words have the ability to be able to create. When you look at the Hebrew concept that talks about the fact that seed reproduces after seed, the Hebrew concept is called mazera zera, and it's talking about where the seed reproduces after seed. So a good tree will produce good fruit. A bad tree will produce bad fruit. Now, in that place, our good words will produce good fruit. Those words that are not in line with Yahweh are going to produce bad fruit. And then we're going to have to deal with the aspect of that. So how much does that begin to just mess me up? Because, I've learned in the past, through many, many years of how not to say something. Got in trouble for saying something when I shouldn't have, saying something when I should have, or any number of other things. But the fact is that I think of Samuel when Samuel, and the scripture actually says this, that Samuel's words never fell to the earth idle. That every word that he spoke was enacted, was fulfilled. And the truth is that we can think about it, just like I got done talking about Mazera Zera, how the fact that good fruit will produce, or good seed will produce good fruit. You see, the living letter pay, I talked about the cough, but what about the yod that hangs down? You're may asking me, well, how does this have to do with the Mazera Zera and the seed reproducing after the seed? Because the truth is that yod that completes the part of hay there is a seed. So you get where I'm going now. How that seed, whenever we speak, whenever our wind is added to that, we are returning Yahweh's word back to him. You guys have heard me say this many a time. My word goes forth in all the earth, Yahweh says, and it will not return back to me void. How does it not return back void? It does not return back void because we respond to that word. We speak that word, and we take that seed that Yahweh has given us, and we speak that into the earth, and that seed has the ability to develop and grow. So it really begins to help me to see, wait a minute, if that's the case, then not only is my mouth, which is the living letter pay, talking about our words and the way that we speak, not only is our mouth have the ability to be able to scatter that seed, to be able to place that seed into the earth that Yahweh has given us, but it's also a door. It's also a dalet. It's also a place that takes from the heavenlies and puts it into the earth. You see, we as heaven and earth connections, the fact that Yahweh has given us the ability to come up here and to see these things, and to be able to take what we see and then by his direction begin to speak those into the earth, then he's giving us a place of responsibility. You know, it's one thing that there's something that's just burning inside of me that I'm learning to articulate. Some days I feel like when I'm doing these podcasts, it's almost as if I'm tripping over my own words, because I'm having a difficult time articulating exactly what it is that I know that Yahweh has said to me. Because I know that there is a place that we have of responsibility. I'm tired of letting Yahweh take all the work when he's told us that we are to do some things. Now, I know you're saying, wait a minute. His yoke is easy and his burden is light. Yes, that is true. My response to him is my words. And then the responsibility of handling that once it's done. Now, he gives me all that I need. He takes care of all that I need. So that yoke is easy. He'll bring blessing with no sorrow added to it. But there's still responsibility. And really, today's declaration begins to speak just that. The pay, the ability to speak and to declare. The dalet, the place where it's the portal to come into the earth and to be able to be established in the earth. But the shin, you see, the shin is an action word. It's an action letter. It's a place where you take the teeth, which is one of the basic meanings of shin, or the fire, both consume. So both have the ability to be able to change matter from one to another. And what does it do? It creates energy. Both of them do. A fire creates energy when you put it in a place where it can give warmth, or it can create electricity. Same thing with food. We eat food and it turns into our body into energy. So it's an action. It's the ability to do something. That's what shin means to me, is the ability to do something. So today's beautiful declaration begins to say, hey, look at who you are. Look at who you are. Look at what Yahweh has given you. He's given you the ability to speak. And he's given you a door into this earth where we can take of the heavenlies as we take and we hear from the Father. As we hear from the Father, how do you know whether it's good fruit or it's bad fruit? If you can hear, you have good fruit. If you can hear from the Father, that fruit that's coming out of you is going to be good fruit. Stay with that. That is the place of who we are as sons. That is the place where we are creating peace in our location and where we are and throughout the path of our lives. Everywhere we go, Yahweh has given us the peace. Because why? He's given us this promise that not only are we going to be responsible for these things, but that he's going to take care of it. And he's going to make sure our yoke is easy and our burden is light. And that he will take the yoke upon him. We will be bearing this burden together. But we have a part to play in all that he does. Let's go today in that place of allowing our mouths to be the door into the peace, into the shalom that Yahweh has made for today.